Hello, and welcome to Calcium's COVID-19 vaccination tracking and pre-screening for employees and members. This video will help get you started and understand our platform's features. This is our website, calciumhealth.com. To find this specific page, you'll go under Solutions and COVID-19, and you can select Get Started Now to create and register your account. After registering your account and verifying your email address, you'll be on the organization sign-up screen. Here you'll enter information about your organization. You'll also select a subscription tier. This is based on the amount of members that you want to track vaccinations / do pre-screening for. So you can see we're on the 0 to 10. This is the free trial tier, but we have month to month, annual, or for the best rate, you can do 2-year contracts. So take a look at that and select the tier that works for you. After you've reviewed the terms, you can check the box here and click Create. Now, after creating your organization, you'll land on the dashboard page. Here we have some charts and the member section, which is all blank right now because we don't have any members. So let's start inviting some people by clicking the invite button up here in the top right. Here on the Invite New Members page, we have a few different features. On the right-hand side, we have the member invite code. So each organization will have a unique invite code. You can send that to your members and they can use that to join directly in the app following these instructions. Also, we have direct invites. You can invite them by their email. You can invite members and administrators, all from this box. So let's send an invite to this email here. Clicking submit. You can see that it succeeded, and that member will be receiving an email from Calcium to accept their invitation and join the group in the member app. Now we've switched over to the Calcium Health member app view. This member received an invite and they downloaded the app. Here we're just looking at it in the web, but your members will most likely be using this on their smartphone. So this user has already registered and we're just going to sign in here. First thing, when the member logs in, they'll see this information about our HIPAA agreement. They can continue and review our authorization form and then agree to that. Right away, if they verified their email, they'll see this pending group invitation right up here at the top. You can select it. On the group invitation screen, we'll just see information on the pathway that they're being invited to, the different responses we'll be collecting. And once all that looks good, the member can click accept. And after accepting, they'll be on the people page here. You can go back to the dashboard, clicking on the home icon, and they'll see their pathway for your organization here. So they can click into that. So we'll see we have 5 current tasks and 89 future tasks. The only task we need to complete for the day is the take risk assessment task, which we'll show here. So clicking into this, we have some information on emergency warning signs. We'll continue. Are we planning to be on site today? We'll say yes. Have we tested positive for a COVID-19 infection in the past 14 days? No. Are we caring for or have had close contact with someone with COVID-19? No. Do you have any of the following symptoms? We'll say no. And have you traveled outside of your state in the last 14 days? We can say no. And certify that our answers are correct. We'll click confirm. And we can see this is the badge that we should be expecting shortly after completing this. So we will click complete on the bottom here to complete that task. And you can see our badge here up at the top was a question mark. Now it has the blue check. When you click into it, You can see that we are all clear. Status is okay. The tasks we have currently are all related to vaccination. So they aren't required for you to get the all clear badge, as people will be getting vaccinated at different times. But let's go through these so you can get a sense for what they are. First, will you get a COVID-19 vaccine? You can answer yes for this. And it's telling us we want to complete our first dose reporting after we've received that. So let's go to the first dose. Here, have we gotten our first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine? We'll say yes. And which one did you receive? If you're unsure, you can skip. Let's say we got the first dose of Moderna, not Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson, just the one dose one, we'll say no. And we'll say we received this a little over a week ago, on the 4th. And we'll confirm our answer. And we'll be directed to the second dose once we have gotten that. So there we've completed the first dose. And let's say we've gotten our second dose. We can go to complete this task. Asking if we've gotten our second dose, we'll say yes. And we'll give it another date for when we got that. Certify and complete. Now we're at our last current task that is available here. Upload your vaccination card. So let's select that. Here you can see it's asking us to upload our vaccination card. We can click here to select a file. So let's do that. And I'll choose this vaccination card picture. We can give it a title and some notes if we want, or we can just submit it by clicking save here. And we are all done for the day. If you need to show proof of vaccination again, you can go over here to the home section and select this icon here. This will bring you to the immunizations page where you'll have access to your uploaded vaccination card, so you can show that if needed. We've switched back here to the admin dashboard. Here we have a lot more data filled out as I've invited a few more members and recorded some responses. So let's go over the top section here first. On the top left, we have the members chart. This shows the active members in blue out of the total number our tier allows in the gray. So you can keep track of that. Next, we have the alert status. So members who are all clear, who have alerts, or who are unknown in the different colors here. Next to that, we have task completion. Blue for those who've completed all available tasks, including optional, and then gray for members who have any tasks still available. Next to that, we have the vaccination chart. Blue for members who are fully vaccinated, gray for members who've just received their first dose, and then red for any members who are not fully vaccinated. We have the search box here, so if we want to search for a specific person, we can easily do that. And sorting, by default, it's going to put some of the alerted members up here at the top. So we can see Gerald and Kenzie are highlighted in red here because they have an alert. If we click on this alert icon, we can see for Kenzie, she's received a COVID diagnosis, she has symptoms, she's had exposure, and we can see when her status was last changed. Gerald up here also has an alert status, but you can see he has the syringe icon with the 1 next to it. This means he's received his first dose of the vaccine. You can see he has alert because he traveled recently. So he's received the Pfizer first dose, and you can see that was reported on the 1st of December here. Down here we have Jim Smith. You can see he doesn't have any alerts, and he has the syringe icon with the little paper clip. So if we click onto this, we can see he's all clear. He's received the Moderna vaccine and he's gotten his second dose. And he has vaccination proof uploaded. That's why he has the little paperclip there. So if we wanted to view that vaccination proof, we can click on Jim Smith. And we'll be on his details page. We can see his response history here. And his vaccination status is highlighted up here at the top. With his vaccination proof, we can click to view. And we can review that. You can also click it from the response history view and see the same thing there. Let's go back to the summary. And some other examples, we have Jimmy K. He did not upload vaccination proof yet, but he has recorded his second dose, as we can see with the syringe icon and his information there. You can see Alyssa. She is all clear. She hasn't recorded any vaccination doses yet, so she does not have that syringe icon there. Sally here is unknown. She hasn't responded yet today, and she hasn't recorded any vaccination responses since we don't see the syringe there. We can filter out to just members who have responded recently by changing the last response start date here. So we can just see today if we want, and filter out all the members who have older responses. We can do alert status, just seeing members who are alerted, all clear or unknown. We have different alert reasons, so ones who've reported a COVID diagnosis, we can see that, and all the other different alerts, as well as the additional metrics, basically any other questions we add or have by default, you can filter by to see those. If you are in a top-level organization with different groups, you can select different groups to filter by that. And down below here, we have the invited members section, so you can see any emails that you've sent invites to and review those. Another feature in the admin dashboard is exporting the responses. So up here next to the invite button here, we have an export option. So you can select that. You have the option to choose a date range if you want, or you can click download to get the whole history. So let's do that. And we can see we have downloaded a CSV file, so I'll open that. Here in the CSV file, we can see different timestamps for when different responses were recorded and all the data that we have in our platform here. We have a few options to manage our members. On the right-hand side, if we select these three dots, we have the option to send email, to mark them as not vaccinated, to remove them from the pathway, or to re-enroll. For Gerald here, let's say he accidentally recorded the first dose when he was just scheduling his appointment or something. So we can select the mark as not vaccinated option here. And we're going to get a confirmation button. We'll say yes. This is going to reset all his vaccination tasks so he can re-answer them, but it's going to remove his vaccination status. So you can see he just has that alert status now. Also, we can now send him an email still, or we can re-enroll him in the pathway if we need to reset him for some reason. So that'll completely start his pathway over from the beginning and keep his responses. If at any time you need support or have a question, we have our support beacon on the bottom right here. You can select that to see our instant answers, and you can take a look through our FAQ. If you don't see an answer to your question, you can select the Ask tab and send us a message on your question or how we can help. If you want to make changes to your pathway, we have this option up here at the top called Edit My Pathway. This will take you to Studio, aka Calcium Create. So you'll click that. Here we are. We can see the pathway that's listed for this organization here. If it is a shared pathway, when we click into it, we will see this dialog box come up saying that this is a shared pathway and we need to clone. So this is just making sure that we're separating our changes from other organizations. So we'll just go ahead and click that. Okay, here we are on the main pathway editing screen. We can see the organization name up here, the pathway information, and the different tasks in the pathway. So there's a lot of customization we can do here. Let's go over a few basic things you can do. One of the main tasks, the take risk assessment task, we can see there's a reminder at 8 a.m. and it's due every day at 11:59 p.m. So if we want to change any of this, we can select the pencil to edit the task. We can see all the information about this. It is not an optional task. Any optional tasks are not required for the badge to say all clear. So let's say we want to change the reminder time for this one. By default, it is set to 8 a.m. Maybe we want to change that to 7, maybe a little bit earlier to remind our members. So if that looks good, we can save that. And we can see it updated here. This change isn't published yet, so we'll finish all our changes and then we can publish the pathway to make the changes and the members will be able to see it. This is in draft mode right now. Let's say we want to change the name of the pathway. We can do that up here in this main section, selecting the edit pathway option. We can name it whatever we want. Let's just add a number here. We can see the duration, how long it is. By default, it's 90 days. Usually you'll want to keep it able to be re-enrolled in so that if they reach the end of the pathway, they can just re-enroll and keep recording responses. So I would leave that alone. And we can save our changes here. If we wanted to get a little bit more details into the risk assessment, we can do that. We can go back to the edit task. We can see it has this interview steps button here. We can select that. And this will load our interview editor here. We have all the different pages of the interview that we went over in the member app. So if we wanted to make some verbiage changes, we can do that. Change some verbiage in the questions, or make different changes in here. We can do that. We have a lot of different options. In the risk assessment, I would mostly just change verbiage if you need to, maybe add a separate question. But these default metrics are important, so try to leave those alone if possible. Going back here to the main page, one of the main tasks you might want to add is weekly testing, weekly COVID testing. To do that, you'll click Add Task and go over here to Observation Task. By default, it's going to choose the COVID-19 vaccination task, but you probably already have that since it's in the default pathway. That's an immunization. We want to go here to Lab Results, the second one in the drop-down here. And we can see it's the COVID-19 test results that it is set to by default here. So we can give our task a name. And this is going to ask the member to upload a picture of their test results. So we name the task appropriately. COVID test. We can choose the schedule on when it's due. Maybe we want them to just do that weekly. So let's just say Mondays. We want to see a clean COVID test. So we can check off all the other days. So it'll just be due on Monday. And we might want to make this an optional task. So if the member is vaccinated or if they don't need to do the test all the time, they won't be required to have it for a blue badge. So if all this looks good, we can save it. Once we're done making changes, we're going to publish the pathway so that the members can see this latest version. We want to click the publish option up here in the top right. And this lets us know this will override our existing pathway. Members will have to re-enroll. So let's say yes. And this will just load for a few seconds and publish the pathway and send the updates to the members. And if we check here, we can see that our pathway is published. We've switched back over to the Calcium Health member app view after publishing the changes to the pathway. You can see on the dashboard, the member can see that there is an update to the new version of this pathway option. They can select that. And since we added this lab results data point, we're just letting them know that we are collecting that new data, so they can accept. And this will complete their old pathway, save their responses, and enroll them into the new pathway starting from the beginning with all the changes that we made in Studio. Here you can see they have a fresh new enrollment. So if we go into the new pathway, we can see instead of 5 tasks, now we have 6 tasks. And this member didn't record any of the vaccination statuses before. If they had, these would all be completed since they were one-time tasks. All these vaccination tasks are one-time tasks by default. So this new task, the COVID-19 test results, will look very similar to the vaccination card upload task that we saw. We can look at that here. So we can see it's just asking for a uploaded file of the test results. So we can select the file and upload this COVID-19 test results page and save that. Here I've switched over to a member who had recorded the first dose before enrolling in the new pathway. We can see under the completed task section, even though they have a brand new pathway, their first dose reporting task is complete, since that task you only have to complete once. Back here in the admin dashboard, we can filter out members who have recorded the test results. So if we scroll down here, we can see under additional metrics, the COVID test option that we added. So we can filter out members like that, and clicking onto their name, we can go into their details if we want to view their test results, and we can see them here. If you ever need help while in the app, you can select this More option here on the bottom right. And we have a Get Help option, so you can select that. And just like in our COVID-19 app, we have the instant answers, and you can ask questions here to our support. Thank you for watching and for choosing Calcium.